Hi, I'm Kelsey, and today I'm here to do the Intimidating TBR Tag. I don't really have much to add before I get into it, I'm just gonna say sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've started a new job recently, so I've been pretty busy. So I'm not gonna waste much time on the intro, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. So the first question is, a book on your TBR pile that you haven't finished. For this one I'm gonna have to go with The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I've started this book a few different times and I just haven't been able to finish it. I don't know, I couldn't really get into it. I mean, I'm not giving up on it because I've heard so many people love it and so many people have raved about it and all that good stuff. But I don't know, I've had a hard time getting into it, but like I said, I'm still gonna give it another shot. And question 2 is, a book you just haven't had the time to read. And for this one I'm going to go with The Crown's Fate by Evelyn Skye. I read the first one last year and I really enjoyed it. Like, I loved it so much, and I picked this up shortly after it came out. I just haven't had the time to read it. It's been a couple months now, but I know that's a bad excuse. I just haven't had time to read it. I've kind of been in a reading slump this year. It's been really bad. Like, I have reading slumps that last years, not years, a year, that last a full year. So yeah, I've just been in one of those moods this year, unfortunately. But I do look forward to reading this. I do plan on reading it hopefully sometime soon. So yeah. Question 3 is, a book you haven't read because it's a sequel. And for this one I'm gonna have to go with Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Again, I read the first one last year and I really liked it, and I've actually started this book already. I started reading it and then some other book got my attention, and so I started reading that book instead, and I just haven't gotten back around to this one yet. That's not a good excuse. None of these are good excuses, the excuses that I'm gonna have in this video. But I do plan on, since I've started it, I do plan on finishing it hopefully before the year ends. There's not much time left, so who knows if I will or not, but I guess we'll see. And number 4 is, a book you haven't read because it's brand new. And for this one I'm gonna go with Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. So this book isn't exactly brand new. Obviously it came out like in September, but it is the newest book on my TBR. And I just haven't really gotten around to reading it yet because it's a big book. I am gonna use this for another question on this tag. So I guess you'll see that. And I really want to read this book. I love kale. I'm one of the few people who actually likes kale. And so I am looking forward to reading this book. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it yet. And number 5 is, a book by an author you have read previously and you didn't really like. So I don't actually have one for this question, because usually if I don't like an author, I don't read anything else by them. So I haven't really done that, so I don't have one for this question. And number 6 is, a book on your TBR pile that you were just not in the mood to read. For this one I'm gonna have to go with My Lady Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I don't really have a good reason why I'm not in the mood for it. Just as soon as I saw that question, this is the book that came to mind. So yeah, I don't really have a good reason why, but I'm just not in the mood to read it. I do eventually want to read it, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it, obviously, because the premise sounds very interesting. So I don't know when I'll get around to it. And number 7 is, a book on your TBR pile that you haven't read because it's enormous. This is the book I mentioned earlier, Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. And while it may not look it, some of you may know this book is like 700 pages, I think. No, it's only 600. Almost 700 though. But yeah, that's mostly why I haven't read it. I haven't had time to read it because it's a huge book and I just haven't had the time to commit to a 600-page book. Mostly, the few books I have been reading lately have been short books. And even then, that's been few because like I said earlier, I'm sort of in a reading slump right now. But maybe once I get maybe once I get out of my reading slump, I'll probably give this a read because like I said, I do really love Kale and I want to see what happens to him during Empire of Storms, so hopefully I'll get to this soon. And number 8 is a book on your TBR you bought because of the cover. This one was very easy. It is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I definitely bought this book because I've seen it on other booktubers channels and I just thought it was beautiful. I don't entirely know what the book is about, honestly. The cover is really pretty, so I really wanted to have it, and so I bought it. Story of my life, right? Just look, I mean, can you blame me though? Look how beautiful it is. I do plan to read it. Hopefully I'll love it. If I don't, oh well. At least it has a beautiful cover, right? And number 9 is the book on your TBR you find the most intimidating, sorry. For this one, I'm gonna have to go with You by Caroline Kepnes. I don't necessarily find this intimidating, but the premise of the book seems hard to understand. From what I understand, it's about this man who like stalks a woman who he meets. He basically just stalks a woman. That's what I understand about it, and I started to read it like a few weeks ago or maybe a few months ago, and it was just a little confusing. I don't know, because it's written, I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to the premise style of the book. I don't know. So just when I saw that question, which is the most intimidating book, that is the book that came to mind. And so that concludes the Intimidating TBR tag. This tag is originally by Lindsay Ray. So I found it on a blog on the internet, and I will link that down below. I don't know if I find the original video, I'll link that as well, because I want to give credit where credit is due. But if I can't, I'll just link the blog where I found it. This tag, I was inspired to do this tag because I really love watching people talk about their TBR and their whatever challenges they find in reading. I just enjoy watching that, so I wanted to do this too, and I figured it was a good video to get back into filming since I haven't done any videos in a while. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you enjoyed, please give it a like. If you like my channel, please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.